And we're good.
All right, let's get started. So I'm going to talk about K3s and K3os tonight. My name is Jason Van Brackel. I'm a Director of Community, which is just a title that says I work on Slack with our open source community and our forums and the emails that come in. And I do stuff like this, where I'm talking to various meetups and user groups about Kubernetes, about Rancher, and about really whatever else I want to that can help people. That's really it. All of my, I'm not in the sales department anymore, so all of my MBOs are around helping people. We're just trying to find ways to quantify that so that so we can figure out whether I'm successful or not. On Twitter, I'm Jason Van Brackel there, and I'm JVB on the Rancher user Slack. So I'm going to bug out of here not long after my talk because I am from the Philadelphia area, from the Baltimore area originally, and I'm driving back tonight so that I can present tomorrow. So if you want to hit me up, Twitter and then Slack. So slack.rancher.io. Send your email out, and we'll eat another half a gigabyte of memory and CPU. As well as Slack, we also have a forums and documentation. Please go read the documentation because I spent a lot of time browbeating product to make sure that documentation was good, and continue to browbeat product when documentation is not good.
Continue to do the Lord work.
What's that?
Continue to do the Lord work.
Yeah.
It's all about documentation.
Documentation is product. We have lots of upcoming classes that are all free. You'll just have to hit our registration wall. That'll make Prodiba happy and lead gen because she'll send out an email. If she spams you, let me know because then I'll just tell her not to do that anymore. We send out an email or two, let you know what's going on, but we're not big into the whole spam thing. I'll be talking about Istio and Service Mesh tomorrow from my office in Philadelphia, which is why I'm driving back tonight. And then we have a master class coming up on storage and Kubernetes from Shen Yang, who does most of the writing of the Longhorn project, which is our distributed block storage mechanism. So we're going to talk K3s, we're going to talk K3d, we're going to talk K3os, and we'll do a little bit of demoing. I'm fairly new to this project. It's one of those things that somebody asked me to come speak on it back in New York City, so I did. And then James asked me to come speak on it here, and I said, okay. Download the latest version, see what's changed, see what's broken since my last demo, and let's give it a go. Plus, since then is K3d and K3os.
Doesn't like this, Jerry. So, one sec.
All right. Give me a second.
Technology is great when it works, right?
Is this not plugged into anything? Do you need this plugged
That's
in
your
somewhere?
yes. Physical connection problem.
Layer one.
It's always layer one. That was the first thing my networking teacher taught me when I learned it back in high school. 70% of the time, it's layer one.
It's layer one.
Well, no, 70% of the time it's layer zero.
The user? All right, so let's see if it's going to come up now.
Okay.
Side HDMI. Let's just plug it into 3 then.
Here, let me also check my display settings. My display settings definitely changed.
Fuck is the scene from Armageddon where
All the HDMIs. There's so many on this TV. It's ridiculous.
All right, let's mirror. And I don't know what resolution I was at before, but I figured, oh, that's fun. There we go.
Oh. Wait, are things happening? Yes. What? No. Don't tease me like that. Oh, sure. Tank, quick, go back to where you're standing. That cable seems a little tiny. There we go. Don't touch it.
Cable's across my lap, we'll leave it there.
Hey, good to see you.
TV right there.
All right. So, if you want to join us on Slack, it's slack.rancher.io. We have a K3s channel. I think there's also a K3os channel and a K3s contributor channel for people who are coding against it as well. We have other training opportunities. All are free, except for the registration wall that makes lead gen happy. So we'll talk some K3s, we'll do some demoing, I'll talk about K3d and K3os a little bit, and we'll see what I broke it since my last demo. So let's talk a little K3s. So it is a lightweight certified.
Free spread.
You're gonna take a picture of what's on your phone.
Here, I'm gonna move this so it's not across my lap.
Looks like there's a really short cable behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of these go back.
Hey, it's on for more than a second.
All right. Nobody breathe. So it is a CNCF certified Kubernetes distro. It's K3s because 3 is 5 less than 8. The 3 doesn't actually mean anything. It's just Darren's way of saying we've ripped a bunch of guts out of Kubernetes. It's built for production operations, so unlike something like a micro K3s or a mini cube, it is built to be, for production use. The binary, which is not all that interesting, it's just the zip binary is 40 megabytes. It goes over the wire nicely, and it uses about 1/4 of a gig of memory running idle, which is significantly lower than base Kubernetes. Single process integrates Kubernetes, the kubelet, and containerd, so we ripped out Docker. And then we also put SQLite in there instead of etcd, and that's a performance thing. It's a size and performance thing. It also now supports MySQL as of the latest version. I'm not sure if it's still release candidate or actually released. And it works for x86, ARM7, and ARM64/ARM8. And it's an open source project. Rancher does not take any SLAs on it yet. That'll change. And it's about a 2-week difference between when a Kubernetes release comes out and when we have the latest release of K3s. And that's just a matter of we have to run all of our patches against upstream Kubernetes, see what breaks, and make sure that anything that went from alpha to beta to stable is available and working. So we removed a bunch of stuff. Anything that was legacy or non-default, we took out. All the alpha features, gone. Inch-free storage providers and inch-free cloud providers, since you can get that elsewhere and we're built for the edge, we figured we don't need the cloud providers in there, and if you really want storage, there's CSI. So you can use CSI plugins. And then we took out Docker and defaulted it to containerd. So we've added a simplified installation via just one script. It does automatic TLS, does some interesting things around Helm charts, and is containerd, core DNS over kubedns, and then flannel under the covers. That means, of course, by default, no network policy API, which just means you don't install flannel and install whatever else that you want. That can do network policy API. By and large, it's something around 3 million lines of code between what we ripped out and the unit test for it. And this should look familiar if you've seen a Kubernetes architecture diagram before. Really, the only big difference is that tunnel proxy. So the agents call out to the servers, and they create that connection with the tunnel proxy. Everything else should look really familiar from a Kubernetes standpoint. But that also simplifies operations because it's one port tunnel and not a whole bunch of them. That was Darren's idea. So who knows Darren Shepard, I build the cloud on Twitter and everywhere else. This was his brainchild. It was Kubernetes is too damn big. We need to get it smaller. And then as he was working on it, we started getting questions about Kubernetes on the edge, Kubernetes in the warehouse, Kubernetes in the car, in the restaurant. So use cases, edge computing. That's all of the edge computing, whether that's in the restaurant or in the warehouse or in the vehicle. Single app clusters, CI. It's great for CI/CD because it spins up really quickly and spins down really quickly as well. So for CI environments, it's really nice for that. Feel free to ask questions throughout. I'm really informal with this stuff.
What's the benefit to single app cluster?
Honestly, if let's say I'll use an example from one of the conversations I had with somebody who's looking at Rancher. They work in a lot of areas that are outside of internet range or satellite internet, which is stupid, expensive, and slow. So they have an application right now that they install into a giant Dell mobile workstation that ties into the power in their vehicle. It goes out on site in the middle of nowhere, collects a bunch of data, and then comes back and syncs. For them, that single machine right now is about $3,000 to $5,000 per unit. they could replace that theoretically with a, let's say, a Raspberry Pi or some other cheap ARM device for $50 to $100 a unit. And then they have a single method of deployment, whether it's, you know, whether it's in the truck or in the data center or anywhere else, because Kubernetes essentially becomes almost like your JVM in that case. So everything is being deployed as YAML or as a manifest in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, good question. So, install and upgrade. As I mentioned, it supports x86, ARM v7 and ARM 64, that's also known as ARM v8. And let's do a little bit of install. So, I created some machines earlier, just for, while I'm doing this, if I get a chance to do so, I'm actually going to put a Rancher server up as well, in case we get that far and I don't run out of time. Talk about Fleet a little bit. I spent 15 years as a .NET dev, so I do lots and lots of Azure automation. And then, so that's actually going to stand up a few servers in a Rancher cluster eventually. But I stood these up specifically to do this demo tonight. So let's just grab one for testing purposes. Grab this one x86 over here. Grab this public IP address and SSH in. Oops. Let it continue to do its thing. Make this a little more readable. Better? Too small? Too big? Good. All right. So K3s installation really is as simple as if you go to k3s.io and you can just grab this and you have a node ready in about 30 seconds. But I'm going to actually install an older version so I can show off upgrade. So I have to do you got my handy dandy cheat sheet here to remind me what I want to talk about, because this specific talk is not ingrained in my brain quite yet. And we're just going to pipe that in. We'll actually we'll grab an older version just to show off upgrade. So there are lots of command line arguments for installation and runtime and all of that. Like I said, go read your docs. Yep. So it's going to go download K3s and install it here on the system, depending on how fast this is. Like I said, it's a small binary, also it's about 40 megs, so I wouldn't expect it to take very long. I think the release candidate has broken the 40 meg barrier, so we're going to have to change all of our marketing around that to be 41.
When you change your marketing as a Rancher product, you gotta rebrand it to Lean Beef.
Lean beef, I like that. That's a good idea. So we now have the binary, it's starting K3s. And we'll do kubectl for the version. Ooh, probably still coming up. Let's try that again. Ooh, verification error. I didn't get this last time I did this demo, so we'll just let that, Anybody remember that what it is for the TLS insecure?
K.
Dash K.
That's for curl.
That's
Is it
curl.
still, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
it
think
is. Yeah.
It's like,
TLS dash insecure, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Insecure TLS.
Might be insecure TLS. All right.
Who's fastest at Google right now?
It's good to know that nobody in this room knows that, though.
Yeah, we all do Kubernetes stuff and nobody knows it off the top of their head, which just means we're doing it right.
We're just smart enough not to out ourselves.
Insecure skip TLS verify.
Oh, yeah, because it's the same thing for etcd.
All right.
etcd.
TLS.
At least it's longer.
There we go. Oh, it must be logged in. I should be logged in. All right. K3s, kubectl. Really? Well, 30 seconds in, I've already blown it up.
Let's just blow it away and just spin up a new one.
Might as well. I got other nodes. Well, let's see if the upgrade will help it. The upgrade is actually more secure, so let's curl.
That sounds like a Microsoft or VMware answer.
Really, I've only spent enough time with this thing to know it at a 101, 102 level and have not been able to dig in under the covers as much as I'd like.
Used it in anger. So I'm calling
What's that?
it. You haven't used it in anger yet.
Yes, exactly. I have not used it in anger. I'm going to have to steal that. I like that.
You have an S at the end of your curl command, by the way.
Do I? Thank
I
you.
work with a lot of people from the UK, and I'd never heard that term before, in anger.
Used it in anger.
I was like, why would you be mad at something?
Way too easy.
Because you really understand it. Waiting for a 41 megabyte download now. Could be 42. I haven't actually checked it.
Probably just update the brochure and say under 15.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 100, but yeah, under 100.
Small.
Yeah. It's small. Exactly.
We'll do that for later.
Remember the 50 meg limit
Yeah.
that makes unzipped 250 meg?
All right. K3s, Kubes.
Oh.
Maybe
Oof,
just do
brutal.
the K3s with the skip.
Yeah, Kube.
Because that's all it
Make an alias.
Yes, I could do just that. You must be logged in. Oh, that's bizarre.
Like you need to log in.
I should already be logged in. I have a kube config.
Let's say, does K3s like generate your kube config?
Yes, it does.
Take a look at it. See if
Yeah, let's see what's going on here. So that puts that in. It doesn't put it in the kube. Let's see.
Oh,
Cool.
Lost the
I was
screen.
way dark mode.
Oh, wait, that's it.
Weird.
Oh, wait a minute.
Did it put it in the wrong
There you go.
user's home directory?
No, it's looking. Oh, you know what I just did? I can tell you exactly what I just did. I've got multiple copies of K3s running on my laptop because it didn't log into the server that I created. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the right prompt.
This is a very realistic demo.
Yes, it is.
I've seen it.
This is just like real life.
Everybody learned.
Oh, you're running. You were local, right?
That's
Okay.
exactly what I was doing.
We're gonna succeed when we try this because like this is gonna be the same problem we'll have.
Oh, that's right. It's a dash I. Yeah, you will have done the same thing.
I feel like
There we
I'm at
go.
work.
We don't make mistakes. Just happy little accidents.
Happy
Little
accidents.
accidents.
All right, let's try it. I'm like, why didn't I just went through this today?
I bet this will go much faster.
Yes, not being through my little Wi-Fi thing there, through the firewalls and all that fun stuff. Let's see, K3s. I still can't type K3s worth my life.
Sorry, I can never remember how to spell Kubernetes, even though I type it like 100 times a day.
Filet.
That was the first thing you said on Tuesday.
I think it was.
Like that slide came up and it said K3s, you know, I think you call it maybe.
I like lean beef. That's a good idea. Feel.
Filet mignon.
Well, I'm gamifying the training class I'm doing. It's all free. I'm gonna have some fun with it. So maybe when I do the K3s training, I'll have the badge will be the lean beef badge.
The lean beef
Lean
badge.
there
That would be
we go.
great.
The magic byte, the magic identifier for a byte, Java byte code is
Yep.
I'd forgotten about that. But I was a Java developer in past life too. It's been a very long time. There's still EJB out there that I wrote, probably, unfortunately. So yes, now we have 113. Everything's been running. If I do kubectl, and I should have I have a node up and running with 113 on it. So let's once again run the upgrade. Oh, and K3s should have 0.3 that we installed. It is, yay! So let's upgrade it. Curl, right? Yes. Boy, my brain is tired.
Drink too much bourbon.
What's that?
Drink too much bourbon.
Gotta find that balance.
The bomber curve is real.
Upper peak, yep.
HTTPS or not?
Do it apple
Oh,
cider with,
yes.
schnapps.
What's that?
Apple did it with schnapps.
That explains a lot.
Schnapps-driven development. And then, yeah, upgrades are quite literally that easy. Just applying the new version. New version of Kubernetes, new version of K3s. Is it dash version?
There's an XKCD.
No, it's just version.
And it's
Oh.
kubectl version. Yeah, I'm just mixing them up.
Yeah. And then Java's,
Oh.
Java's the worst.
That's right. We made it more. We actually made it more secure. That's right.
Change it much
I know, right? You guys need new TVs.
I see.
No, we don't need new TVs. NTS needs new TVs.
NTS.
It's
And
nothing
then
that
it's-
requires a fix.
We are just the tenants.
What? You just the tenants?
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry. Breaking everything. You guys all have your laptops, you can join the Zoom. I thought about doing that. Offering them remotely.
We're gonna need you to draw everything he's doing.
There. Now it's working. Yeah, we made so yeah. The 0.7 release candidate's actually a lot more secure than the 3. I think rootless running is just about done too. One of the caveats right now is there is no multi-master. That's coming. We'll GA after multi-master is done. That's the goal right now. So that'll happen sometime between now and probably the end of the year. I don't make promises for product. I've learned that lesson.
Multi-master with SQLite, question mark? With, seems like you can go back to SED at that point?
Maybe. You can drop SQLite and throw etcd in there. You can drop SQLite and throw MySQL in there. I guess we're just converting etcd commands to SQLite like everyone else does when they do such things. You can rip out container D. You can rip out container D and go back to Docker if you want. We just found container D to be faster and lighter weight, which was the whole point of this. So yeah, and uninstall. So if you hate it, when you installed, you have the uninstall script right here. We'll just copy that. Because I may reuse this server in a minute. And paste.
You said that this is version 7 and it's rootless now?
I believe rootless is either in or coming in.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, we'll leave that open for other stuff down the line.
Also dropped a Bitcoin miner on there.
That's why you're running Kubernetes, right? To run your
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
The suspense,
Yes. That's killing it.
it's for a draft effect.
I don't have that.
You think you can core to fix that?
This is, cord has been used twice.
Well,
And it's a monster cable. So.
60 inch, let's go.
I can clean the signal up by running through the Elgato. Okay. All right. So it does single node. It also does multi node. So let's do a multi node. That's why I had more than one. So let's go ahead and we'll put the master here since it already has some K3s stuff on it. So first things first, let's set up K3s. So, all right. So we don't have K3s, it's good. I didn't want it, curl. So we're gonna grab the K3s binary first.
Very subliminal.
Buy all the rancher now. Buy all the rancher now. And we'll grab that. So now we have the K3s binary. So instead of doing everything, so the default is to set it up as a single node Kubernetes cluster, which is great for single node Kubernetes cluster things, but what if we want multi-node? So I grab the binary. Let's chmod this, 755. And we'll move that over to K3s, to user local bin K3s. Good. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of outputs for K3s. If you do K3s help, you can run a server, you can run an agent, run kubectl, and you can run cryctl, since it is containerd and not Docker. So let's start up our server. I want K3s sudo export node token command. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I moved that sudo user local bin K3s. Oh, that's what's wrong. I was supposed to start the server first and not then the agent.
Stand there.
Little do you know, we've got a switch back here, we're just messing.
It's all right. Pay back some pitch.
All right. So I need to, no, I want to get that command, there we go. So I need to get a K3s, and I want to disable the agent. That's what I did wrong. So we're just going to leave that as the, we'll leave that as the current version, because who knows what's going on in the release candidate, and I'm going to send it into, I'm going to send some other commands in. K3s, CC. And we want to disable the agent, because we want server only. And to get around our little issue with the security, this is not the best way to do this, but we're going to put it in here anyway. 1644. And I want to make sure that my public IP TLSAN, yeah, I want this one. And oops. So what this says is go grab K3s. When we install it, we're disabling the agent, so it's a server only. Then we're making sure the kubeconfig is accessible via chmod. Then we also want self-signed certs on the public IP address. Otherwise, it'll select one and it may get the private. That's everything we did right there. So now I should have a kubectl get.
Is there a reason it doesn't just take all the IP addresses?
What's that?
Is there a reason it doesn't just include all of the private, or all of the IP addresses?
Probably an oversight. I would think it's probably code oversight. So now I need my node token. Where is that? Symlink, that all looks good. Oh, I know what that is. Did we put it in the commit? Is it node? Oh, wait, no, I don't remember what it is. It's K3s. It's in var lib. I didn't put a note down for this because I just forgot. And his node token. So when a server is created, a node token is created so that you can add agents to the server. There we go. So I need this because I need then an agent to sign into it. So this one, I'm going to leave this thing open because I might use it again later. Oh, I'm sure I have all kinds of weird stuff now that I've installed K3s in my own box twice. So we grab this one. Let's go grab an ARM one. We'll do a multi one. Grab the public IP.
That is probably the single most important feature that they've implemented.
What's
right
that?
Click copy, get the IP.
Yes, by far.
It was, oh.
All right, we're in. So now I want to create an agent. And to create an agent, well, first I'll download K3s. I can never remember my curl and my wget. I mix these up all the time, which is why I keep the notes. Anybody hear that hum?
Yes.
Damn, you're too smart for us.
I would have done that if I didn't know if it was just here.
So we're gonna grab K3s, chmod it, and we'll move it. Yes, let's move user local bin. That sounds like a great idea. Now, let's go ahead and get this agent started up. And tell where the server is. Oh, I'm going to do multiple things here. So I'm going to grab the server IP address, which was, I did do this one, right? Y'all were paying attention, weren't you? And then we need to give it, we tell what the server is. Oh, and the port, that's kind of important. 6443. And then we need the node token, which is why I left that box open. Yep, that's it. Grab this. You all should automate all this. It's nice for live demo, but node token, and then we'll pipe all that out to a K3s agent log, there, and run. So now I should be able to do, if I go back to this one, nothing found. I do need tmux. That would have been a good idea. I have tmux. That would have been smart. I just don't use it every day, so it's not fresh in my head. Cat. Oh, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong. I did something very wrong. Yikes.
Just pipe in a binary to standard out.
You might
Why
want to
not?
reset that.
RF-RF/no preserver, just do it.
Try anything twice with that.
You know, I always forget
Brings up a game.
the difference between curl and wget. When I always curl down a binary and I don't use the -o.
Cannot. Oh, did I forget the -o?
No, you did that.
I might have. This is what history's for. Is it the right O?
Yeah. For output.
Wait a minute, do you need that for curl or do you just type it?
It just stores the file.
Yeah, wget just kind of assumes.
What did I do wrong?
Are you on your ARM box right now?
No, he's on an Ubuntu box.
What if you?
Well, there's Ubuntu ARM too.
Oh.
Can you just file it?
Did you download the Intel version?
No, I'm on R64. No, that's right. What did I do? I'm not losing my mind, am I? Oh, that is a,
You went on the ARM box.
I did go into an ARM box. Did I mislabel an ARM box?
No, that box you're on right there is the server, but you.
Oh.
You picked the server.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, there is a separate ARM64. Now, here's one of the fun things is that sometimes, yeah, so this one, yeah, good catch.
You passed the test.
Get a free shirt back.
Yeah. M&Ms.
All right. So 061, and it's K3s, and I think it's ARM64. All right. There we go. All right. We'll just go back a few to where that thing.
Now we're cooking.
There we go. Now we're cooking.
It's been a rough day, let me know.
All right, starting the agent. Woohoo!
And now we can do get nodes, and we've got nodes.
We should have nodes, yes, we should absolutely have nodes. Nope, not that one. All right. None found. Starting, still starting. This, let's see, this VPC is wide open. I don't spend every day in AWS. It's not my native
Well,
cloud.
you put the public IP, so.
I did.
Security group, you said is wide open?
Yep, security group is wide open. I'll hand wave and we'll move on. The important thing is, you know it's doable. I just screwed it up somewhere in there. No token, key authorization log. Yeah, it should have already done it by now. Yes. K3s, agent. I give the agent command, right? Agent, yep. Dash S server. That's 54, 221, 173, 61. Yep, should be fine. Token. Yeah, that all looks correct to me. All right, moving on. Not here for live troubleshooting.
Pretend this one. Power of your imagination.
Yes. So it does work in ARM and x86. That's the ARM one trying to call into the x86. Something's wrong. Maybe it's a security group. Maybe somebody changed security group on me. That's quite possible. And of course it works for, so K3s is also built for the edge. Keep saying it over again. So I've got a Raspberry Pi 3 sitting over here that's connected to this laptop via a fun little Wi-Fi repeater VPN doohickey. This has a gig of memory. It's running a Broadcom ARM v8. Though the funny thing is, Raspbian shows it as an ARM 7, so you'd use the ARM HF binary for now. I figured that out the hard way, wondering why isn't the ARM 64 stuff working properly? And it was because of Raspbian, and no other reason than that. So let's go ahead and give that a go. Now the nice thing about the just base K3s script is it will do that detection for you. So I just have to figure out what that IP address is. Fortunately, I can sign into my handy dandy Wi-Fi thingy. That's the technical name for it.
You're gonna drop from the Zoom, I think. I can flip networks.
Oh, I'm not flipping networks. I'm already signed into this thing.
Oh, okay.
I just want to get the IP address for my Raspberry Pi. Come on, no Snickers over cow pie. And then what's this H in there? SSH. Did I change the default? No, I didn't. All right, we're in. So, installing we'll just do the base install here and not any fancy magic. I'm just gonna go through here and grab this. Let's see if this did anything. Nope. We'll figure that out later for my next demo. You can see here it grabbed the ARM HF, so the ARM v7 and not the v8. And that's Raspbian being Raspbian. That was something I figured out this afternoon when I was playing around with it and like, why isn't this working? And then check the architecture. Oh, well that's weird. I should have T-Muxed this. You know what? I'll let that do its thing. We'll open another one up.
Yeah, this time start T-Mux.
And we'll start with tmux. Because I do want to show what the utilization looks like on this. Okay, that's what I wanted. So, control up, no. So let's SSH back in. Oh, whoops. Try that again. And let's go ahead and see what this is using. And then we'll, over here. Oh, I don't have the mouse commands turned on for this config. That's my other machine. All right, got 4 cores running, got our memory, got our swap space. Let's sign back in.
I love H-Time.
Buddy of mine showed me that the other day. I didn't even know existed.
Way better than top.
Yeah.
Way better.
Way better than top. All right. Okay. 5th time's a charm. So I should have kubectl. Oh, do I not yet? Did I? Gotta see if it actually finished doing its thing. Oh, it's still starting K3s. Oh, good timing. So K3s running idle now. We can see it's using about, yeah, it's sitting out at about 100 megs of memory right now. It'll probably jump up to about a quarter gig by the time it's all said and done, once it's doing everything. Let's just run a copy of Nginx, see how it affects it. There we go. Oh, whoops. I forgot the right config mode thing, and that's not auto detected yet. Like I said, we've secured things a little bit. Chmod 644. Let's see. K3s. So that etc range for K3s, K3s.yaml is the kubeconfig file. What did I do wrong? Oh.
YAML for the next.
Oh, thank you.
The bane of Kubernetes users.
YAML being YAML.
Ooh, that's a fun one. K3s, koof. All right, please start server with right kubeconfig mode, tuma. No kubeconfig? No. All right. Don't do this. No, 655. Let's see, rancher, yeah. You know what? That's what we'll do. We'll just rerun it. Wow. See, I played around with a lot this day. Stumbled on different issues earlier today. All right, K3s and ARM. What did I forget in my notes? It's exactly what I forgot in my notes. Curl. So that's one of the things we'll have to fix in the main site is that we actually have to have this call in right now, which I neglected. K3s.io. And that is the right. So essentially this is like an in-place upgrade, just with the kubeconfig setting, which I should have been able to fix manually, but was not behaving, which I'm just forgetting why. Oops. All right, that's what I forgot. I forgot my right kube config, set to 644.
I love the timing of the TV going off. Happened as soon as you hit enter.
Did it?
It looked like K3s like killed the TV.
You know, I have an extra TV. I'm just gonna start breaking it.
So it's interesting, it was using 100% of one CPU while it was starting up. And now let's do a kubectl get. Hey, look at that.
This TV does not like Kubernetes.
Apparently not. All right, so we have a running Pi server. It's interesting how HTOP is all over the place. I have no idea why. But let's actually, we have more than enough resources to do stuff with on the Raspberry Pi, which is the entire point of this. Was I want to show off, hey, it uses some resources, but you still have plenty on a $30 piece of machinery to run some software on. Which is a lot nicer than, you know, a several gig, you know, cloud machine that I'm not going to use everything of, but just for Kubernetes. We'll let that keep running. And the uninstall works just the same. Deployment, the kubectl apply works just fine because it's just kubectl at the end of the day. The other way it can work is it can work by manifest. So there is a directory in here, and I'm not going to actually go and dump it in there, but I could grab any sort of YAML file, and it is under var lib rancher K3s server manifest. So anything that's in this manifest directory, rancher K. Oh, is it not a manifest directory now? Anything that's in the manifest directory, I'm guessing we just have it locked down a lot. Anything in that varlib rancher K3s server manifest directory will launch as soon as K3s comes up. So that way, if I want a single node cluster with my application already installed, ready to go, let's say my restaurant or my warehouse on my Raspberry Pi, I just set it up, you know, on my, you know, in my data center, ship it out to where it needs to go, and plug it in.
So just, yeah, static pods.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. It also has, I have to look this one up because I've been working with GitLab to try to get a GitLab to come up with this. But we actually have a CRD for Helm chart. K3s, CRD, Helm chart. So we've added a number of CRDs because we didn't want to stick tiller in here.
Why ever not?
No. So it supports the concept of a Helm chart with setting each of the variables, you know, with their key value pairs. So you can use Helm without having to have tiller.
How's that work? I mean, not like how it works, but like, I mean, it sounds like mess. It sounds like it'd be messy and not work very often.
It's remarkably similar to how we did Helm and Rancher. So we actually it's a little bit different, but in Rancher we actually fork tiller. So when you do an install for the Helm chart, it brings up tiller with your RBAC, whatever your RBAC is, and then attempts the install, and then spins tiller back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing here too?
It's similar. There's actually there's a full-blown operator for it, but conceptually it's similar.
Are you importing the tiller like code?
Probably.
I'm just wondering because yeah, like I can't imagine re-implementing.
Yeah, we're not going to re-implement all of tiller. No way. Yeah. We borrowed heavily from tiller code. We just, without all of the idiosyncrasies of having to run something as a admin in the cluster all the time.
So it was not
Yeah.
What?
much better.
You don't wanna do that?
No, we don't want to do that. So K3d. K3d is the K3s for development environments. It's essentially running K3s in a Docker container. By default, so downloading K3d, just another open source project. It doesn't have its own I/O. And we didn't even start this. This was started by K3s community members who said, hey, we figured out how to shove it into Docker. and built a utility. Can you all take this over? And we're like, yeah, sure. So we picked it up. Darren contributes to it as well as a number of our development team and the open source community as well.
You're running K3.
K3s,
That is a Kubernetes lightweight distribution
yes,
inside of a Docker container.
yes.
I wanted to make sure. There's so many levels.
At some point, you scope a why.
I was
It really is so that we could do this. So if I want to do,
Just for this demo, basically, like, check it out, it's cool.
it's, here, we don't need these T-Max anymore.
just making sure I was following along. There's lots of abstractions there.
Yes, just a little bit of distraction. Do I have K? So I think I already have K3D installed. I do. So if I want to do K3D list, I want to just do I have K3D running? Okay, that is stopped. So I'm going to do a K3D. I do a lot of Catacoda stuff. D Catacoda. There we go. So I can start up a development level Kubernetes cluster just like this. Or not. Oh, I'm already using 6. That's because I have K3s running too. This is why I caused myself lots of trouble earlier. All right. What's that? I did this to me. So, so I have to remove K3, I have to remove K3s. Or at least shut it down for now. Oh no, I need grep in there.
I do that all the time. I forget that when I'm doing the PS and
Oh.
forget grep.
I just want the uninstall. You know what? I'm going to reinstall K3s so I can get the uninstall command to just uninstall K3s.
Meta.
It's meta.
Just so that we can run K3s inside of Docker.
So this is actually, when it was launched by the community, I kind of laughed at it. And then I started using it to spin up stuff for my own local development, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really useful.
Yo, dog, I heard you like Kubernetes.
We're gonna put Kubernetes in your Kubernetes.
I assume K3D is like, I mean, it's containerized, but it's gotta break all of the container conventions. I mean, I assume it's like essentially uncontainerized to be able to run container D inside of Docker.
Yeah, I'm betting there's some privilege. I'm betting if you throw a seccomp profile on it, it will break immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually, I might have to look into the code for that, because I'm just curious what level of,
yeah, it's like cat add all run as network host.
yeah.
Everything you're told not to do.
Right, it's like essentially not a
You might
container.
wanna keep the bottom filters close by.
It's a true.
That's a given.
Yeah. So now I should be doing K3D create, there. And just like that, I have a cluster up and running, and if I want the kube config for it, it even tells me to do
You
just
have
that.
so now you have a Kubernetes cluster running inside a Docker container.
Yes, so if I do,
It's like that, it's like Inception, the top is still spinning.
yeah. And there are lots and lots of command line arguments for K3E so that you can expose ports for node ports and for ingress and all of that.
So I don't need admin on my machine to run K3s.
No.
I can just run K3D if I've got a Docker VM running.
Yeah.
I'm just, because right now, the issue that I have with one of my clients is they have older versions of VDIs
Yep.
and they have newer versions of VDIs. The newer ones can run like Minikube and VirtualBox.
Yep.
Older ones can't. They can't run they can't run Minikube.
Okay.
There's some kind of rules or something. I think it's a hybrid virtualization issue, but if I can
Okay.
get them to try to run K3D,
So the caveat with K3D is it's Linux only. So it doesn't work on Mac OS. You actually need a Linux VM for it to work, or a Linux
Yeah.
machine.
but it wouldn't matter. Windows
Does it work on Mac OS
machine
with Docker
with a
installed?
Linux VM.
What's that?
It doesn't work on macOS even with Docker installed.
No.
Why?
Why?
What? Yeah.
I'm guessing some of the black magic things we had to do to run K3s and Docker.
Because it's not really a Docker container,
Yeah.
and it actually requires like.
It's probably some
the
kernel
Linux
stuff.
kernel
Yeah,
specific.
yeah, that's almost certain that we break, it's almost certain to me that we're breaking out of the kernel, or breaking out of the container boundary in some way, shape, or form to make this work.
This is open source, right?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You bored this weekend?
I'm actually, see, I'm taking mental notes now to look at this stuff myself because I want to know. Like I said, we didn't write the first version of it. This was one of those things where the community wrote it because they wanted something like kind, except with K3s.
Do you like K3s better than kind?
Only because for what I need to do most of the time, yeah. But if I need more than what K3s has, I go to kind. Or I just, I've got Terraform at the wazoo for everything.
For those who are wondering, it's Kubernetes and Docker.
Yeah.
That's what kind is.
Let's just say I no longer run Minikube. I'll run microK3s, I'll run kind, I don't run Minikube. All right, fun little tools. What I did with the kube on, kube off, it's a tool called kube-ps1. So it gives you from your prompt what cluster you're currently in as far as your context goes, because I'm frequently in like 7 different clusters and I don't want to run commands against the wrong one.
What's the difference between that and there's another one's like kubectx? There's another one.
They work hand in hand. So kubectx and kubeNS
Okay.
allow you to switch context and namespaces really quick.
Okay.
Kube-ps1 just shows you in your prompt where you are. And it has a team-ups variant. That's why when I...
kind of like, yeah, with knowing what branch you're running
Yeah.
on.
So down here is, I always have what my current context is. So, yeah, K3d, kubectl.
What was the name of that one again?
What's that?
What's the name of that again?
Kube-ps1. Kube-ps1. It's by John Moscow. He's from the Philly area. Works for Comcast right now, I believe. What's that? No, it's not PowerShell. Yes, PS1 in my world needs PowerShell as well. Not prompt. I've been this close to having PowerShell be my default shell in my Linux box. I have PowerShell installed. And I live in here quite often.
Huh. Well, that's one way to do it.
That is not a way.
I'll post it to the meetup.
So that's K3d, and we can delete them just as quickly. And we'll just delete all of them. So that's the other thing I want to show off was K3d. And then I'll talk a little bit about K3os, because this thing is still really, really young and kind of hairy. I was playing with it a bit today. They're actually really well put together when somebody who's played with them for more than 6 or 7 hours actually touches them. And actually doesn't mistype stuff on his notes. That's the other thing I did wrong. But like K3s, it supports ARM and x86. It is a Kubernetes-backed operating system. So it runs if you've worked with Rancher OS, it's conceptually similar. It has a system-level containerd and a user space containerd, and just enough Linux to run containerd, and then just enough other components to run K3s. Once it's up and running, now the code isn't completely done yet. If you go to the README, you'll see that there's a bunch of operators that will allow you to update and maintain the operating system from kubectl. So no more package management because everything's either a Helm chart or a set of YAML. What's that? This is Kubernetesizing everything. It's treating Kubernetes both. We've been joking for years now that Kubernetes is becoming the operating system of the cloud. We just took it literally.
I'm sorry in advance.
But because it has a minimum set of services, like Rancher OS, it has a tiny attack surface. Rancher OS is really popular in the finance space because it's just enough Kubernetes or just enough Linux to run Docker, and that's it. This is the same idea, except we've branched out the Kubernetes. We've borrowed some code and a lot of concepts from Linux Kit. The base kernel code is Ubuntu 18 LTS, I believe. to just get a base going. Eventually, RancherOS and K3os will likely merge as far as projects go. That's me looking forward to see. I don't know how Darren thinks, but just if I were in Darren's shoes, that's what I'd be doing. It would make sense from where we're going as a company standpoint. So yeah, no package manager because the package manager is Kubernetes essentially, or Helm. Installation, there are lots and lots and lots of ways to install this. Because the simplest way is load the ISO and run osconfig. Let me demo that real quick, which I've been through like 6 times. But yes, you can actually take over an existing Linux OS with it. You can remaster the ISO with Grub. There's lots of documentation on all of those things. So you could go from essentially K3os with K3s with a set of manifests and have a ready-made, really tiny operating system running just your applications to go ship to a warehouse somewhere. So that we're not doing like Chick-fil-A did running RKE to have K3s clusters in the restaurant. We're trying to get even smaller. Yeah, we don't want the rack in the restaurant or the $5,000 machine in the car. We want the Raspberry Pi or small ARM device. Mark, who actually developed this demo initially, is working with Raspberry Pis and other small ARM devices so that when you have a K3s cluster of multiple Pis, when the master goes down and like say it loses power, the battery backup kicks in, moves the database over to one of the agents and has it become a master. That's kind of like we're going with that kind of fault tolerance inside a Pi cluster type of thing. So let's do this. We have VirtualBox, don't we? I should have VirtualBox. Yeah, I do VirtualBox. Good. If anybody was in for the Rancher Rodeo, I still have my server on 1.node.01 up and running for the other day. No, don't do that. Just power it off. Call this K3os. Definitely not Windows. Yeah, Ubuntu's fine. Let's grab a little more RAM.
I'm yelling.
You're just missing me setting up a VirtualBox.
He's yelling at the TV.
And let's modify the settings of this. Go grab. All I did was I grabbed the x86 version of K3os. It works for ARM as well. And it really was just in case I wanted to load K3os on my laptop as part of this and really hose myself. Everything's in GitHub anyway. Yep. Yeah, my machine's just a commodity nowadays. I can replace. So K3os is up and running. Log with my Rancher. So this is a live ISO, and then we'll just do a sudo.
Perhaps you can wave your arm right now, make the TV come back.
Oh.
Nope.
Good man.
This is the old building. You're old.
What are you doing?
I didn't do anything bad.
No, we're, still saying.
Yeah, you're still.
Yeah.
It was this one you all,
All right.
It's okay. I got it all recorded there.
So sudo osconfig. We're going to install it to the disk. You can use a cloud.init file to set everything up. Our documentation has all the things you can stick in the cloud.init file, including add-ons for Kubernetes and manifests and all that fun stuff. I'm just going to do a base install. You can either have a local account or authorize specific GitHub users to SSH in. So you basically you'll go based on their SSH keys that are installed in GitHub. I'm not going to do that because I feel like that's just kind of teasing the demo gods. And I'm going to do it passwordless.
oh. It was right there. Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
No,
Matt.
come on.
Here we go.
All right. So Not gonna configure Wi-Fi, and I'm gonna let this be a server token or cluster. So when I had that pre-shared token between K3s, server agent, I can also set a pre-shared key for that. In this case, I'm not going to. And then this will destroy everything else in this machine. Yes, let's do it. And then we'll have to go through and change the settings to remove the CD. We probably didn't do it in time. Oops. Yep. Let me reboot that again because it was still looking for the CD. Control, is it R? Yes, it is. Good. And now K3s current. And just like that, I have K3os. Everything managed through kubectl essentially. Like I said, this is the fuzziest of all the fuzzy things that I've shown off today, by far. So the operator that will do the operating system management isn't even finished yet. This is just the kind of where we're going discussion. So, what questions can I answer for you? Because we've looked at a lot of different things today. I've screwed up a lot of things today.
What? So, your operating system is running as a container on a Kubernetes cluster?
Well, no, this is a full-blown Linux operating system.
Okay.
Its kernel is based on Ubuntu 18.04, 18.06 LTS,
Okay.
and some code from Linux Kit. So that we have essentially system container D
So you have a
and
Linux-
user container D.
You have a K3os VM running
Yep.
right now. Where's you said managed by Kubernetes. What is that?
So managed by kubectl. So
Oh, okay.
what the next version of this, next iteration of this, will have an operator running
Okay.
that will allow you to update and modify the operating system from kubectl. So another set of custom resource definitions based around operating system management.
What's the target use case?
That's the words I was looking for.
Yeah, like what, cool, great.
Yep.
What would you advise doing?
It is the,
It's the edge, right?
yeah, it's the edge. It's the smallest possible operating system to run Kubernetes with the smallest possible Kubernetes distribution that's production ready to run just your software on the edge.
So you push manifest to it and let it spin up on its edge.
Exactly.
And then report back to it.
Yep. So the thing that we're working on is fleet management of all this. So Rancher will do that today. I could import each one of these clusters into a Rancher management server and see them as a set of clusters available. The issue we have today is that we didn't build Rancher with fleet management in mind. So when you get up around 1,000 clusters or so, it tends to bog down. Because for every cluster we manage, we have a set of operators running for all those CRDs and all those ties back into the Kubernetes API. So architecturally, we just eventually run out of resources. We can scale out vertically, and it does work. It's just we know that eventually we'll bottleneck in the thousands. And we know that on the edge it's going to get bigger than that.
What's the recovery scenario like in K3os? Like, I mean, you're the OS now, right? Like,
Yep.
you have all the same problems as running Ubuntu on the edge.
Yep.
Like, what's recovery like? Is there like an automatic fallback to defaults situation that happens or anything like that?
That's a good question. I mean, since it's install a grub in Ubuntu kernel, there's probably you boot the ISO into recovery mode.
I'm just thinking about if it's in a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Just throw it in the garbage.
yeah. It really is probably throw it in the garbage. It probably really is throw it in the garbage, grab another one, and hook it right back up.
It's so cheap at that point.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
Throw
yeah.
the garbage or throw the SD card in the garbage.
Throw the SD card in the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just
So it's immutable physical boxes essentially.
yeah. It's not quite embedded. It's almost embedded. It's embedded without the pain of having to get embedded hardware
Yeah.
or writing a chip.
Everything's in software.
What's that?
Without-
Without the cost, yeah.
Do you have
That's the
utilities yet for building like slightly customized K3os images that come like pre-configured with a CA that is well recognized by your company or something like that?
It will do Let's Encrypt right now.
For like the API, for.
Oh, for the API, yeah, it's doing all kinds of self-signed stuff inside the API.
Like I imagine if you wanna ship one of these
Yeah.
SD cards somewhere, right, you're gonna want.
You're gonna want your own
K3os with,
CAs and
like,
all that,
A
yeah.
little bit of customization on it, right, to like know where to connect back to and things like that. Do you have tools for building that yet? No.
Not open source yet. A lot of that can be done through the cloud init for K3os. So the cloud init itself,
Yeah, I mean, it's all plausible, right, you can make those golden images, I was just wondering if there was like a nice, be cool. if
no,
there was a little, like, built
it's
in
all,
K3os.
it's all cloud init based right now. That's the install. I'm looking for, yeah. So here's everything the kube config can do right now. So, pre-shared keys, you were asking about search specifically. I don't think it does that yet. It sends in K3s args, but I don't think K3s will allow you to swap out search yet.
That's gonna be a major feature for large customer adoption.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Unless there's something that's changed about K3s since the last time I was looking through the docs, and I don't think so. I don't think that's part of it. K3s now has official docs, but I know I've read this a lot more than I've read the actual docs yet.
I was gonna say K3OS is just an operating system, so.
Right, yeah, it's all plausible, right, like somebody could do it, it'd just be really nice if there was a tool that said like, you know, nobody wants
Oh.
to run base K3s, right, you wanna be able to like build something.
Yeah, you can send in args to each of them, which would include your cert paths. You
So
just
you
dump the
wanna
certs.
customize an image,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You're gonna
Yeah,
wanna
so
build-
what you'd have to do is you'd have to send in your, today, right now, it'd be cloud init file with the K3s args. Then the K3s args include these args.
K3s would include like the node, like the server, the master IP,
Yep.
the server, what are they called, node tokens?
Node token, yep.
Node token to join.
Yeah, so you could build some, the code is already in there, you could build the tools pretty easily to master such a thing. Because you already have the command line arguments for API, scheduler, controller, kubelet, and kubeproxy, so you can get this, you can get the cert there. Yeah, that would be nice to build some of that tooling, I like that idea. Yeah, I think that's how I would do it. I'd build a tool around custom CA chain, with a master application, Helm chart, one startup. Yeah, it's probably weekends worth of work to get a POC done on that. So,
Go for it.
and I need to get my 3 kids writing code. Kids, today we're learning Go.
You're just trying to
Open source.
Yes,
stuff.
yeah, I'm gonna be exactly.
Instead of farming now, you just have them writing code.
Why not? Both. So yeah, fleet management's the next discussion. I'm not gonna demo fleet management. I suppose if I had time to talk about things. So what else can I answer for y'all? We talked use case a little bit. I liked your question around tooling to make it easier to master.
You could also just sell Raspberry Pi SD cards, that'd be an interesting
Yeah.
side of business too.
Yeah. K3, you know what, that might be what I'm on vacation next week, so I might actually put together a K3OS SD image for Raspberry Pi, just to give that a go. All right. Well, thank you for watching me go through my demo. The gist for this is actually up in GitHub. You see all the commands that I should have done right. github.com/me. And it's under this, I'm working on this Vagrant thing with Mark, so to actually master, use Packer and Vagrant to do a quick and dirty K3OS. But it wasn't working with the latest version of K3OS, so I decided to ditch it for today. And then this K3s training gist has all the commands that I was going to go through today that I went through the wrong order and mistyped some things. So do check it out. And that'll walk you through K3d, K3os, and K3s. And like I said, join me on Slack. It's slack.rancher.io. Send an email in. I'm out there all the time. Just look for the people with the blue cows. They're all Rancher employees. Okay, thanks all for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing that.